When Megan Thompson feels unwell while on her period, she can take time off. The 23-year-old can adjust her hours or work flexibly to help cope with severe cramps, migraines and fatigue. But if her period pain gets too bad, the finance company she works for allows her to take additional leave. It's so refreshing being able to say to my manager, "I'm on my period," and she knows instantly to offer support, said Megan. And they actually offer me time off instead of me having to ask for it. Megan, from Cardiff, has worked for Hargreaves Lansdown in Bristol for about 2 years, and the company have had a specific period policy since last year. "Sometimes I still feel guilty about working flexibly around my period because I know some people don't suffer as badly with it," she said. "But at the same time it does happen every month and I can't help that, so I'm learning to put my guilt aside and do what works for me, whether that's taking time off or working from home or sometimes feeling fine and then I don't need that support. When I started working here I was shocked that they had a policy, but now I just don't understand why more companies don't have it. Employers with similar policies have said they want to get rid of the stigma around talking about periods." Megan said previous employers were sometimes dismissive of how unwell she can feel. "It makes me better at my job." She commutes almost an hour to the office in Bristol and thinks Hargreaves Lansdown's policy has really helped her. She said she thought it also benefited the company, as being unwell meant she could make mistakes and it could cost clients. "Society 100% needs to normalize periods," Megan added. The firm said it updated its menopause policy in an effort to be more inclusive and help increase productivity. "It's symptoms 50% of the population experience, so when you're trying to make the culture as inclusive as possible it makes sense to think, how do you support that structurally?" said Anna Langdon of Hargreaves Lansdown. "Whilst it might not be relevant for one colleague, it might be for another, so putting a policy in place really helps that colleague who does need it." What's period leave like in other countries? Few countries have formal medical leave for periods, but Spain could introduce it for those who suffer from severe pain. In the UK, policies vary from informal to formal, with the COVID pandemic allowing many to work from home with more flexibility. Other countries that offer flexible working for periods include Japan, Indonesia, South Korea and Zambia. However, all their laws vary widely, with the majority of countries not offering paid leave but providing extra time off outside statutory sick leave. On a couple of occasions have passed out. Courtney Wilbur has also felt really unwell while on her period, but she did not take any time off, because of the stigma. "I have been to the doctors numerous times about my periods due to severe pain from cramps and on a couple of occasions have passed out," said the 21-year-old letting agent. "I have never taken leave due to periods as I feel as though it isn't a valid excuse to have time off work, as it makes me feel as though my employer would expect me to then take the time off every month." Difficulties. Courtney, from Cardiff, said companies should offer flexible working for periods as women feel ashamed to show they are struggling and feel unable to take time off. She said she hoped companies would encourage policies for people with periods to have flexible working options and mitigate the difficulties it poses for female employees. But she added it could create friction in the workplace due to unfair bias from people who do not have that flexibility or due to fears the policy will be abused. She added similar policies could make workplaces more attractive and could encourage more progression at work for women in particular. Suffering in silence. Company TOTM makes sustainable menstrual products like pads and tampons, and its chief operations manager, Sally Tuhami, is on a British Standards Institute committee which is looking to provide guidance and recommendations to organizations on how they can help staff. A recent study of our customers showed 94% had severe period pains in the workplace but suffered in silence, and that has to change, she said. Periods are a part of life and that should be reflected in the workplace. We're on the path to making that happen, but we're not there yet. A Welsh government spokeswoman said, "Period dignity has been prioritized and we are working at pace to develop a draft strategic action plan for publication in early autumn. We want to eliminate the shame and stigma associated with periods and to ensure that no one is disadvantaged because of their period. The plan outlines our vision for achieving period dignity in Wales by 2026, ensuring the impact of periods are responded to safely and non-judgmentally within education, employment and health-based settings.